Hello. Today we're going to tie a bubblehead fly. This fly is tied by Mike Buss of the Virginia Coastal Fly Anglers, and it's a fly used to catch false albacore off of Harker's Island in Cape Lookout, North Carolina. It has a slender profile to imitate a silver sides, and the head ends up having a thread buildup with epoxy over it that forms a ball or an oval shape. Creates a lot of water, and thus we call it the bubblehead fly. Very simple to tie, very quick to tie, and effective. We're going to tie a cotton candy version, which is super hair, royal blue over hot pink over chartreuse. So we're going to take the super hair, turn the fly upside down, and we're going to have a taper on the super hair, and we're going to measure it to be about 2.5 inches long, maybe 3. But you can see we have a taper so it doesn't come to a blunt end. And we're going to take a bodkin or pair of scissors, whatever. We're going to split that section in two so that we can slide it in between the hook. And what you want to do is tie it directly on the bottom of the hook and underneath the hook. Nothing coming over the sides, nothing coming over the top. And again, neatness counts somewhat on a fly because it helps it track and keeps it from spinning. So try to keep your hairs, try to learn to manage them so that they stay right where you want them. So you can maneuver them a little bit. And notice also with this I am tying the thread not up toward the eye of the hook, but back about 1/4 of the way down the hook shank. And that's mainly because when we finish the fly, we want to leave room to form a big head or that bubble so that we're not crowding the eye of the hook, and we can build it up without it looking too out of place. So you notice I have that big space in the front. I will tie material down on it, but I will not crowd that room or the eye of the hook with material. So once I get that in place, now I'm going to add some flash. Your flash can be any type of flash that you like. I like the Mirage FLASHABOU, and this is in the pearl or opal color. And I'm going to put it on halfway, fold it back, and tie it down again. 3 strands, so when it's folded over, it makes about 6 strands. Obviously, you can use more, you can use less, depending on your taste. But I find that about 3 strands folded over works fine. Now we're going to put a lateral line, which will be a hot pink, and that color will lay right on top. You notice there's a little bit less material. I'm going to make sure that there are no hairs going over the eye of the hook, so I will trim off whatever I need to, and then I will lay it back on top of the hook, and again with nothing hanging over to the eye, I will tie it down. And notice how I'm pinching it as I wrap the clear mono, and I go back. I'm pinching the material so it does not roll around the fly. I want it to lay right on top of that chartreuse. Okay, then I repeat that step again using royal blue, taper it off again so that the ends come to a point. And then this will be a little bit less material still, and I will make it just a hair longer than what the pink was. Okay, again, that keeps me from getting too pointed, too blunt of an end. You can always go back and trim it with scissors if you like when the whole fly is done. So I tie it down. Like I said, I make sure that my material is tied down, and I'm leaving 1/4 of the shank of the hook behind the eye so that I can build up the thread, to make the bubble. So I remove the clear mono, and I grab orange flat waxed nylon, and I'm going to tie it on. Once I get a few wraps, I remove the tail section, tag section of the thread, and now I just keep building it up. And notice I put more wraps in the center of this thread than I do on the ends. So again, I want to try to form what is a rounded shape, putting more of the bulk of the material in the middle. And the more round I can get it now, the better it looks at the end when you put the epoxy on the fly and protect everything that's underneath it and give it a hard finish. So once I feel like I have the bubble the way I want it, I'll do some whip finishes, and then I basically will remove this thread, and the tying part of the fly is now done. The only thing left is to just kind of double check everything. Again, you can go back and trim the ends if you need to. But now I'm going to take some flat, sticky back prismatic eyes, and basically I kind of size them to the size of the head. So I try to get pretty much as big as I can without you know, getting too outrageous and big enough so you can see them. I like to go as large as I can for what I have to the thread buildup that I have. And I'm going to put one on each side of the hook. I will not use anything to glue them down. Normally when I put an eye on, I'll put some goop on the back and push it in and let that goop hold the eye in place. I do not do that for this fly, mainly because, again, the epoxy, when you put that on, is going to keep them in place. So, and you can use epoxy, 30-minute, 5-minute, whatever you like. Put it on a fly turner, let the head level itself. I like to use clear cure goo. You can use the thick or the thin formula. I prefer the thin formula because I can maneuver the material around the fly, or the acrylic around the fly, a little bit better. And I'll put a healthy amount on. I'm going to build up a pretty big head. I'll use the needle to shape it out a little bit. As you'll see, kind of pushing some back behind the bubble, some in front. It's dripping, so I'll take the needle and I'll just keep it on there. Constantly turning the fly to keep it leveling. It will not harden. You have plenty of time. You don't have to hurry. It will not cure until you hit it with the blue light. So the more I turn it, the better round shape I'll get. When I'm happy with it, I take the light and I zap it for about 20 seconds. And then as I do that, then I get to the point where the fly will be finished. And then the last step I do, you don't need to do it, but I do find there's always just a hair of bit of tack on the clear cure goo. So I take some Sally Hansen's Hard as Nails, and I will put a light coat around it, and one, it gives it a little more gloss to the head, but also it will dry any tackiness that it has, and then it will be nice and hard. So there you go. That's the BubbleHead Fly. Simple, fast, and effective. You can use any colors you want. All super hair. So get your bubble on and have fun fishing.